So, getting a few emails, comments, people saying, Harley, can you please do a critique, share your opinion, debunk the vegetarian myth, which is a book written by Lierre. And, you know, this is a lady, nice lady. I've never met Lierre, I'm sure she's a nice person, but I'm gonna get stuck into this one. So we've got, someone's written a book called The Vegetarian Myth, and they claim to be a vegan for 20 years. So it's like, hey, why don't you call it the vegan myth? You know what I mean? Why vegetarian myth? So I thought, interesting, let's listen more, let's hear what Lierre did. So she claimed to be a vegan for 20 years. 20 years as a vegan. Now, I've been vegan for 9 years, and my definition of a vegan is someone who doesn't eat bovine mammary excretions, they don't eat chicken ovulations, they don't eat roadkill, cat, dog food, whatever, you know, it's plants. You eat plants, and you're a vegan. So let's listen to what Lierre actually did. Let's have a listen to that. Now listen carefully what she did each week as a vegan.
Been vegetarian for a long time who seem perfectly healthy to me. Was there something particular to you, or do you think this is a widespread issue?
I think it's very widespread. I think that the human body was never meant to absorb that amount of sugar, and whether you call it complex carbohydrate or white sugar, whatever you want to call it, it is just sugar. Every last molecule has to be absorbed into your bloodstream, and it is sugar. And that's a big part of the problem. I do think that if you're a vegetarian, you're going to last a lot longer than you are.
So straight away we've got the sugar phobia. You know, so she's someone who's the whole time trying to starve herself of carbohydrates, eat a low-carb diet, and she wonders why she's going off the deep end or binging on the foods. Let's listen to what she's going to be binging on. So again, she says that too much sugar. The body's not designed to run out of sugar, Lierre says. All she has to do is read a medical textbook, and she'll find out that every single cell in the human body runs on glucose. So it's saying that we don't need to have sugar is like saying we don't need to breathe oxygen. That people are breathing too much. So let's listen more. Let's listen to what Lierre did as a vegan for 20 years. What she ate each week.
Because at least you're getting some complete proteins and some animal fats, and some of those...
Hang on. She just said there's no complete proteins in plants? When every single whole plant food contains all 8 essential amino acids for humans? Did I hear right? Yeah, I did. And then there's not enough fat in plants? When you can eat oil, which is 100% fat, you can have olive oil, it's 100% fat. What do we need, 120% fat? There's not enough fat in plants, Lierre says. So does that mean we need to eat more saturated fat from animals? Is that what Lierre's implying? If you read a book, she says the cholesterol is a myth. The more cholesterol is better. So again, it's just people with crazy beliefs getting dropped off the deep end, not even doing it right, and then turning around and saying, oh, I did this, oh, it's not great. It's like me buying a bicycle for $10,000, riding down the street on the opposite side of the road with my hands in the air and then my eyes closed, and then bang, when I have a crash, I say, I was a cyclist and I spent a lot of money on a bike and I had a big crash, so you shouldn't cycle because it's dangerous. Because that's what Lierre did. She was riding no hands, eyes closed, wrong side of the street. Now let's listen to what Lierre did as a vegan.
Vitamins, but as a vegan, no, you're going to collapse. And the last study they did, actually surveying vegans and how often they cheated, once a week, vegans eat beef, which to me was a shock. Because
Hang on. Lierre, you keep interrupting me. Now you're saying I eat beef once a week because I'm a vegan and all vegans eat beef at least once a week. I mean, what's an analogy for that one? That's like saying, you know, geez, I don't know, an analogy that's crazy enough to compare with that one. All vegans eat beef once a week. That's like saying all 50-cent coins do backflips in your wallet at least once a week. What the F? You know what I mean? Let's listen. Hopefully Lierre doesn't interrupt with some crazy quotes.
Because I never cheated on beef, but I certainly binged on eggs and dairy every chance I got. And then, you know, you would it was this whole model almost of sin and redemption. You know, you would feel terrible about what you had done, and the next morning you would wake up and say, I'm not doing it again, I'm a vegan, and you would, you know, go back to your soy and your brown rice, and, you know, that would last a week, and then you'd fall right back off the wagon. The reason is...
Hang on, but Lierre just said that there's not enough protein in a vegan diet. She didn't even eat a vegan diet because she said she's binged, this is a direct quote, she just heard it, rewind it if you don't believe me, she binged on eggs and dairy every chance she got. And plants don't have enough protein or fat. But, so Lierre was a vegetarian. She wasn't even a vegan. She's going around saying, I was a vegan for 20 years and I destroyed my health. But if you listen to what she said, she's eating eggs and dairy every chance she got. Can you see why I do these videos? To share this valuable information as well? So people don't make the assumption, go, oh, I heard of a vegan and they went off the deep end and, you know, like, yeah, they were eating beef once a week and eggs and dairy when every chance they got, and they were vegan. It's just like, again, it's the analogy, riding down the street, opposite side of the road, your eyes closed, hands in the air, and you have a crash, and you go, oh, I was doing it all right, wasn't I? Lierre Keith, go back to sleep, please.
On beef, but I certainly binged on eggs and dairy every chance I got. And to me, it was a shock because I never cheated on beef, but I certainly binged on eggs and dairy every chance I got. And then cheated on beef, but I certainly binged on eggs and dairy every chance I got. And then, you know, but I certainly binged on eggs and dairy every chance I got. And then, you know.
When I went into medicine, I went into surgery, and that was, we were going to cut out disease. That's the way to deal with it. But I hadn't been at this more than about 10 years, then I began to get very disillusioned. I was chairman of our breast cancer task force, and yet no matter how many breast operations that I was doing for cancer, I wasn't doing one single thing for the next unsuspecting victim. And you can say the same thing about the intestinal surgeons who are operating on colon cancer, the same thing about the prostate surgeons who are, the urologists who are operating on prostate cancer. And yet, just imagine how powerful it is when you begin to get unsettled with this and what you're doing, and you seek out and you start reading, as I did, the epidemiology of these diseases in other nations. When I found out that breast cancer was 20 times less frequent in Kenya, and that in the rural Japan during the 1950s it was very infrequent, but when Japanese women would migrate to the United States, by the second and third generation they now had the same rate of breast cancer as their Caucasian counterpart. Well, how powerful is that? And if you looked at prostate cancer in 1958 in the entire nation of Japan, how many deaths, autopsy proven, from cancer of the prostate in the entire nation? 18. 18. Has there ever been a more mind-boggling epidemiologic figure? By 1978, 20 years later, they were up to 237 deaths. Nothing compared to over 30,000 that we'll have this year. So you begin to see this, what unfolding is this very, very, very powerful display of the power of nutrition as you see the epidemiologic data. If you want to go the other way around, you look at the island of Micronesia.
So what have you done today?
I did
2 hours on the bike this morning, pretty hard. And today just doing a half marathon. Just tempo. Solid tempo.
What did you do yesterday?
225k on the bike.
Oh, what was that? Say it again.
225k on the bike.
225k on the bike.
Yeah.
8.5 hours training yesterday.
Yeah. So we're doing a half marathon today. Just helps the body deal with the fatigue, you know. So you get really good training adaptations from that.
Yeah. Crazy.
I'm running about 154 beats a minute. My marathon pace is about 165 beat a minute. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you. Hey, picked up a Coke bottle. What are you going to do with that? It's this one-handed cycle.
I'm going to get to it, man. That's what it's about.
Not take this anymore. Saying everything I've said before. All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway. Just like before. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. I find the answers aren't so clear. Wish I could find a way to disappear. All these thoughts, they make no sense. I found bliss in ignorance. Nothing seems to go away. Over and over again. Just like before. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. 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 Shut up when I'm talking to you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up when I'm talking to you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm about to write everything you say to me. Takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. I find the answers aren't so clear. Wish I could find a way to disappear. All these thoughts, they make no sense. I found bliss